Hei. Adeline. Hvor kommer dere fra? Vi kommer fra Malmö. Ja! Å ja, ok. Dere har fått med den fine vårhelga. Ja, det var helt nydelig. Slutt på det. For det jobber ganske mer iblant.
Jeg kan også. Jeg vet ikke det, hvis dere har sendt inn tar det tid. Når det kommer til politisk behandling, så er jeg involvert.
Ja.
Men ja, ble det planendring, eller ble det planendring? Ja. Fint. Egentlig.
Ja. Takk til dere.
Bjørnar, hører dere meg?
Greit da. Det er det som er anbefalt.
Jeg hører ganske bra, Torstein. Hører du meg?
Ja, men jeg setter sånn.
Jeg hører
Hører du meg, Torstein?
den lyden som jeg tar opp. Jeg hører ikke det som er sagt, men jeg har med meg Tina her, som er i møte og hører og vil referere ting som kommer inn.
Ja, så
Jeg
bra.
kan teste lyd. Jeg hører deg veldig godt da også, så hvis det er noe... Er det spørsmål, kan dere snakke på engelsk?
Yeah, and yes, we can talk. We will do the whole session in English. We're just doing some
So,
testing that the sound is working.
everybody
So
is here, but
the whole tour itself
we'll
will
wait
be in
till-
English. Do not worry.
I've got to make sure, maybe even a few
So
minutes.
we're just going to wait a couple of more minutes, and then we will
Bjørnar, can you
introduce.
confirm who is supposed to be here physically so that we can do a little counting?
So, but then it seems like all the technical stuff is working. So that's great.
Selvfølgelig.
And we just have to wait a little bit more for the last digital participants to show up. Still a few minutes left.
Det er utdannet som styrer det.
Så Tina, hører du meg?
Yes.
Jeg
Jeg hører
bare, dere som er der fysisk, følger vel ikke så veldig, eller liksom de andre deltakerne der ser jo ikke hva som skjer digitalt.
Nei.
Så jeg tenker nå når klokken er et par minutter over 1, da introduserer jeg hvordan dette skal fungere for de som er med digitalt.
Ja. Skal jeg si noe til de som er her fysisk, hva jeg gjør, og at hvis de har spørsmål, så må jeg stoppe det, så jeg kan gjenta det for de som følger med digitalt?
Ja, det kan du gjøre.
Ja, kan jeg ta det nå?
Det kan du gjøre. Det kan du godt gjøre nå.
Hører vi liksom har startet? Ja, da skrur jeg av mikrofonen, og så sier jeg det. Og alle snakker norsk eller svensk, ja.
Ja, men jeg tror, ja.
Ja,
Så bare husk at veldig mange av de som følger med snakker bare engelsk.
ja, så da tar jeg det på engelsk.
Så ting bør egentlig gjøres på engelsk.
Ok, yes, da skal jeg si det til de her.
Ja.
Ok, takk.
Det er alltid hvis jeg møter på et eller annet problem.
Og så, Tina, en ting til.
Ja,
Ja. Så når jeg introduserer digitalt, så kommer jeg til å si at vi gjør dette her digitalt. De kan sende inn spørsmål via chat. Og så kommer jeg til å på en måte be deg og Eivind presentere dere. Og så tar dere det derfra.
Ja. Ok.
Super.
Takk.
Lykke til.
Takk.
Ja, spennende.
Så underveis så kan du ha den herfra.
Da har ikke jeg noe forhold til. Men det betyr at jeg kommer på samme miks som deg.
Ja.
Også hvis jeg prater.
Hvis jeg kommer da til det.
Da må jeg slutte å si snakker det så fast.
Ja.
Men det går bra nå.
Dere med.
Men du ønsker ikke å
Si det.
Du har ønsket
Sånn er det på øret.
Klokka blir helt.
Det er ganske dårlig behov for det, ja.
Har du fått fortalt hvordan det fungerer til alle, Tina, som er der
Ja.
fysisk?
Ja, nå har jeg fortalt min funksjon, men at jeg kommer til å stoppe opp litt og si spørsmålene på engelsk. Fordi de fleste snakker engelsk som følger med digitalt. Ja. Så hvis dere har noen spørsmål, så er det kjempefint hvis dere tar det på engelsk. Så jeg kan gi det inn i mikken til de. Ja. Yes.
Nydelig. Nydelig. Ok, men da starter vi om et lite minutt. Kommer jeg til å introdusere til alle de som er her digitalt. Der. Ok. 14 people. Sounds about right. Okay, but then I will start. Hello, everyone. Do you all hear me? You have to, all you digital participants, you have to make a noise or write if you don't hear me, or if there are any problems.
All good.
Welcome to this hybrid digital physical site tour of RUA. We're trying to do this in a way where people can come to the site and see it firsthand, but also to make all that information and that experience as available as possible to those of you that cannot show up physically. My name is Bjørnar Skov Haveland. I am the General Secretary of Europe and Europe. As you can see, I am not on the site, but we're a small team here from Europe and Norway, and we also have Alva back there waving. And so we will follow up remotely and make sure that all the questions that you might have will be broadcasted. So the way this will work is that we have several people from Lunner Kommune that will do a tour of RUA and film with a phone. And then whenever people that are there physically have questions, they will be repeated so that you can hear them and then answered in front of the camera. If you have questions remotely, you can write them in the chat and then they will be repeated on the screen and answered. And that's basically it. The tour will take about an hour and is being recorded. So everything that happens now will be available on the server in a couple of days. Okay, so then let's just see how this goes. And then I will give the word to Eivind, I think. So then from now on, it will be mostly Lunner municipality and the site representatives that will run the show. Okay. So then I don't know who's going to lead in RUA. Is it Tina? So I think Tina and Eivind, I think you can introduce yourselves.
Yeah.
And take over.
Hello, my name is Eivind Fjellhammer. I'm a manager for development of areas in planning. So I'm the contact person on Lunner Kommune's Europlan participation.
Torstein, we cannot hear you on the site.
Torstein, vi kan
Is your microphone on?
Yes, I'm man behind the camera is project manager for the Europlan project. I can also be contact. So you will probably have also communications with me. Yes, we are have nice weather, no rain. And we're going to walk up to Frøystad. We are now outside the town hall. And there is like a 500-meter walk up to Frøystad area, which is in this direction up here. We will try not to speak too much while we walk. Maybe we just mute the stream. And then we unmute again when we stop and we talk a little bit about sites. We have 4 or 5 points of interest that we're going to stop and talk about. Okay, so we start walking now and we will mute the stream. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to make a short stop here just to talk about this area. This is the town hall in the background that you see there. And to the left, it's the youth school. It's like a high school, age 14 to 16. Yep. So that's that building. And over here is, this is called Garveriet. It's an...
Tannery.
Sorry?
Tannery.
Tannery, yes, tannery. Quite historic buildings here in Roa. And to the right of that is, you will see there's a bus station. And immediately behind that is an area that is planned for a fast food chain that you all are familiar with. It starts with the letter M. They are planning to open a restaurant here. And the reason for that is that this, behind the route there, I guess. Yes, there's a big road, Europe Road 16, that is newly built, and it has a huge intersection behind the buildings here that we cannot see. So this is an area where there's a lot of traffic, national and regional traffic. And there's that intersection is one of the busiest here in this region of the country. Here is a car dealership for Toyota. This is here. And behind Toyota, there is plans for stores. So this area will probably in the coming years be developed with quite a lot of traffic intensive development. Quite now, but we think that this will be a busy area, also very popular for young people.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So the footprint of the buildings that are planned here, the restaurant and the charging station and also the supermarket and so on, how fixed is the footprint of those that is described in the competition brief?
They are not our areas, and they're being planned by other people. So we haven't included them in the brief, but
Okay, but
we have mentioned it.
An approved detailed plan, or is it what stage of planning is it?
Right, they are still at the early planning stage, but we have seen the footprints of the fast food chain.
Yeah.
And then we have had meetings about the other buildings.
Okay, so
we are still getting feedback on that.
Planning. Yeah.
I feel it is to be resolved. So everything's not done until
It's not done.
No.
It's not that.
It's not a detailed plan yet. No.
Are you planning any landfill in that area?
This area?
No, in where it's gonna be the new pharmacy and
The supermarket.
the supermarket.
We can talk about that when we get there.
Okay.
We'll talk about when we get there. There was a question if there's planned a landfill for the area with the stores.
Is there necessary to repeat the question, or did you hear both questions?
I think we heard both of them.
Yeah, exactly.
The sound is good.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, so we're making another stop here. This is just in the entrance to the Frøystad area. And this is the field that's going to be stores for that area that I was pointing out, which is down in that direction. And then the traffic will come between the trees and the moot over there.
One of the important issues in this area is that we have to consider a good pedestrian cycling corridor. It's a requirement to satisfy connection to the fast food chain we talked about, but we have to consider that connection through Frøystad as well. So it's not obvious because it's so detached. But we need a corridor through this area. And Aerocon isn't solving that, but it needs to contribute. So we don't get another point of detach.
Good point. Okay, so this road also sort of divides this area. Even though it's not a very traffic road, it's still it's sort of, like you say, detaches this area from Frøystad, which is back here. Yeah. Questions?
So what about the landfill here?
Oh, yes. So there was a question about landfill. This field here is, I think, at the level that works. There's no flood danger here. It's quite elevated relative to the area that we looked into. So this will probably stay at this level that we see. You can also see that down in the corner behind you there, it is level with the road, so it will be easy to make an entrance in that corner. So that's why they will probably just keep this. But this is, of course, agricultural soil, and you cannot build directly on that. So you would have to, of course, change some of that and hopefully move the fertile soil to another site. Yes?
What is the targets up there? Is it housing or?
This road, where it leads.
It's a rural area.
So just
Or
So the question is, where does this road lead?
Yeah.
Yes. This is a road that leads up the hill here and to
Oppdal.
It's a
red housing.
spread housing, yes. Farmland and what we in Norwegian call a bygd.
It's also
Bygden.
the old road for Gardermoen. So you can drive here to get to Gardermoen if the tunnel is closed.
Yes.
So sometimes when there's maintenance in the tunnel, the traffic goes here. But
What is Gardermoen? Sorry.
the airport.
The airport.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. The main airport of Norway
All right.
is in Gardermoen. And that is half an hour away, 40 minutes.
Yeah, by the tunnel.
By the new road. And the new road is it's where that truck is going, as you can see right now. But sometimes that road goes through 2 tunnels, and sometimes those tunnels are closed for maintenance or for there was a damage there after a crash earlier this winter. And then this road is the supplement road. So then you will have heavy traffic going on this road here.
There's a question from the chat.
Sometimes.
Yeah, we have a question. Is it possible to go up this road a little bit to see the connection with Frøystad a bit better?
Yes,
Yes.
of course. We will now continue. Okay, so I don't know if this satisfies the question about the connection, but this is the Fresta area. And then this is the road that we were standing next to. And the area is behind this house, where there will be shops and fast food and the bus station. And you can see here the big main road. The yellow sign is on that road. Okay, so here we have arrived at one of the plan points of interest. And that's because this is a very good overview of how Frøystad connects to the areas that we have been talking about. So this yellow building in the front here is quite new. It's 2-3 years old. It holds a library and education for grown-ups, for refugees and others. And this is the white building is the old children's school. I went to school in that building, actually. That is also now a school for the grown-ups. And behind that is a building that is used for like a youth club. It has some gaming and other facilities that you would want in a youth club. And it's quite newly renovated on the inside. The building needs some renovation also on the outside, but they have changed windows and made some insulation work.
They're getting a new roof soon.
It's getting a new roof. So that building we will keep, but we will get back to that later. There's a question?
Yes. Is it used by the young people living here in Roa or in the whole municipality, or where do they come from?
So I guess you all heard that question. The young people are primarily from Roa and the surrounding area. Like, as you can see, housing here is quite spread. Roa is quite concentrated for our municipality, and in the surrounding areas here, there are many people living.
So this is the only youth club supported by the municipality?
Yes, in the north of the...
Only?
Well, the only in the all of municipality, actually.
Could I ask? Yeah.
Yep.
And this, would you consider it well used? Is it appreciated, or how would you describe it?
It's not enough. We would like there to be more visits, and it of course has to do with facilities and the surroundings here. As you can see, there are
there's nothing
there's
else.
potential.
Yeah.
Yes, but there's nothing else. That's true. There's
And
a
we have
question.
a question from the chat. Can the overall sidewalk strategy for the town be challenged? Can these buildings' volumes behind the library be demolished? What's their use?
We will
These ones?
this.
The blue ones?
Yes.
Okay.
This is call it
Special housing.
yeah, it's the municipality who owns this area and is parking for special care. There are, I think, 16 units or something in this area, and this is fairly new and fairly fixed. So it's staying. But the sidewalk
Especially.
strategy can be challenged, and we need that because, as I said earlier, we have this disconnect from the area to the north of here, and we need to improve that connection. And the place we're standing right now is one of the places we know needs rework. We need a corridor of some sort right here.
Yeah.
Also in notes, the fence is getting fixed this year.
But to the train station, by the way?
No, that is the regional authorities and the national authorities, which are road authorities, which are building it's an old agreement from when they placed the main road, and the National Road Authority needs to make some sort of compensation to the municipality, and that sidewalk to the railroad is staying there. But we don't want to renegotiate that.
I'm not sure which, there is no sidewalk to the
Right.
train station.
Exactly.
No, there isn't, but there is one under planning
Ah, okay.
and will be built.
So, but they are reworking it right now to accommodate landowners along the side, and also to fit with the economy of the project. So we're hoping that they'll start this fall.
Okay.
Right. We can get back to that sidewalk when we get to the road where that is being planned. We are now. Yes, there's a question.
Can you just say one sentence about this?
Yes.
Is it new?
Yes.
Does it stay?
So this is the football club's area. The two soccer fields here, one that is a full scale 11-man pitch in the back. You will see more of it as we progress through through our walk. And then there's a 9-man pitch here in the front, which is heated with ground heating, which is being made in this burner here that burns wood pellets. And it only heats this. Yes, it's not connected to the buildings in the back here, actually. Yes, there's a question from the chat.
Question, yeah. Can a different supermarket solution be proposed, or is it decided?
And can I make a comment actually on
Sorry, what did you say?
on this question? Bjørnar from Europe and Norway.
Bjørnar from Europe and...
Yeah, I think I want to rephrase that question because there are many.
To rephrase the question.
Yeah, because there are
Yes.
many questions that are, can we do this? Can we do that? And I think what is unique about Europlan is that we ask for ideas of how things can be done. So you are free to challenge a lot of things. Nobody will be disqualified, for example, for challenging something. So if you feel, so I think a better way to phrase that question is, how far has the supermarket come in its planning? And is it realistic that if you propose something that it could change the way it's being planned or not? Right? Like the sidewalk up to the train station, you can propose something different, but it's come so far that it will anyway be built the way it's planned now. So it's not very fruitful. But when it comes to the supermarket, I think you can challenge how it's being drawn, because that's also connected to how the pedestrian connection that goes from the bus station up to Frøystad, how that would work. But I think Eivind and Torstein could comment a bit more on how far that supermarket is has come. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So we haven't seen a plan for it yet, but we know that someone is working, and it's fairly detailed. The drawings they have themselves, but the municipality hasn't received a plan for it yet. So I think if Europan table some ideas, maybe they listen, maybe not, but it's not wrong to come with ideas. And one of the problems, as I said earlier, that they have to solve is the connection between Frøystad and that area north of here. And they'll be happy if they get good ideas. That said, it's fairly fixed, and the municipality will be very happy if someone does anything there. So we're not in a position to make expensive demands.
No.
But we do make suggestions.
Yes. Okay, if I should continue about the point that we're at, we are now, as you can see here in the background, is a volleyball court, a sand volleyball court that is also owned by the football club, actually, not by us. This is quite a nice area. It's like green grass and quite a lot of space for just hanging out, but it is very little used. It's, of course, could be because of this not so nice structure over here. But if we could find good solutions for this area that could activate it a little bit more, then we think this is a good spot. Because also in the evening, the sun is to the west here. And it sets down in this area that I'm now filming. So this has very nice evening sun, and it's a really nice area in the evening. But it needs a little bit of work. So suggestions for that. And also, yeah, as you saw when we walked up here, we climbed just up this little hill, and we can do that, but not everyone can do that. So if we can connect this better to the sidewalk and to the road down there, then that would be a very nice thing. Because now you have to, as these guys did, and just sprint up this little hill, or you have to walk around these garages and up into the area where you can see some kids there in the background. So that's the road into the area. Right, so let's move on. Okay, so now we have arrived at another point of interest. This is in the middle of the football facilities. There are only football facilities. There are no other sports here, no athletics or anything like that. So this is the clubhouse of the football club. The club owns it and runs it itself. It owns these two pitches that have artificial grass and are, of course, in green all year round. And there's this field here that is actually owned by the municipality, and it has natural grass, and it's not much in use. It could be used for something, so you can make suggestions for that. Now we see the library from a different angle. As you can see, there are quite a lot of cars here today, a lot of activity, which also reflects that this is an area of great activity already today. But a lot of the buildings are old and will be demolished. So the white buildings in the front here are among the sections that will be demolished. As I now pan over to the left, you will see the building that contains our current swimming pool and an old gymnastics hall. That will be left here, at least for now, because it's the swimming pool that we have. And although we want a new swimming pool, that is not yet financed and readily planned. Is a question?
Yes, I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about the reasoning for which buildings are demolished and why they are going to be demolished.
Yes. Ivan?
Thank you. They've been disused for a long time, and when buildings stand like this, there are always new ideas on how to use them, and it's too expensive to actually use them. So to remove this thought that it's possible to move in there again, we are removing them. So yeah, and also it's to open up for new ideas, because as long as these buildings are here, it's hard to reimagine the area. So if we can remove the things we know can't stay, I think we make things easier, because if you want to re-establish something in these buildings, you have to spend almost as much money or more than you would have to spend for a new building. So we're not doing it, and then we shouldn't lie to people and say that these buildings are here. No, they're really not there.
Yes, you've tried to use them and it doesn't.
Yeah, we have used them for many years. Actually, it's just the last couple of years they have not been in use. So they have been repurposed after the high school moved from here. This was the old high school, and that moved down to the building where we saw. And since it has been used for the purposes of now in that building to the right, the technical condition of these buildings is very poor, especially the electric system. So that's why we have decided that it's not worth refurbishing, because we also do not have a use for the buildings as they are.
Also mold and things like that.
Yes.
So
there's another question from the group. Yes.
Yeah, just ungdomsskole. High school is down by the municipality.
Yeah.
But is there a kids' school? Is it? What is the use here? Where is the kids' school? The primary school. Primary school. Yeah.
The primary school is further up on the hill. It's quite far away.
So there's no school activity here.
No,
Swimming.
Just with
swimming, yes.
School for adults or
just
School for adults in the orange building over there. Yes.
We have a question from the chat. The swimming pool can be proposed to be placed elsewhere. How does it work in the terms of land ownership and availability? Do we check ownership plots or only state-owned land? You want me to repeat it?
It's, I think we have a fairly good idea of what land we own ourselves. And I think it's beyond the scope of Rjukan to identify a slot for it. That said, having ideas and proposing that something or swimming pool can be put isn't there is fine, but it's fair to just remove the pool from the idea and just concentrate on, okay, what are we doing here then if we are removing the pool? Or if you want to reuse the pool as a new building, that's also an option. Because this is one of the sites the municipality board kept as an idea. So it's a real possibility to keep the pool here, but in a different location. And if you see the material from 2015, I think, the pool is placed in the same spot as the youth club. So you can reuse that item in this area or remove it. But you don't actually need to find a new slot. But if you do, that's fine. It's just that it's not the question we're asking.
I think the pool is quite well described. The parameters are described in the brief, and I think questions that are about specifically how the brief is written and what is included in the task should be submitted through the European platform. Okay, so this is a kind of a nuanced question in regard to the competition brief, and that should be submitted through the European platform.
Right.
Yeah.
We were just seeing that one. There's a connect. We were thinking about other connections from the site, and there is like a connection over there over the road.
Right.
What is
So
that?
you're pointing a bridge that we can see just slightly behind the clubhouse.
Right.
So that is an old ski bridge. It was used when there was primary school here, and it was one of the things that they put in when they built the new road, because kids that lived in the areas up the hill here, like myself, we sometimes skied to school, and that road cut off that possibility. Now that is not any longer a need, but the bridge is there, but it leads to nothing. It leads to a field, agricultural field.
No one skis to school now.
No one skis to a school that is not here anymore.
Right.
No.
Or to
So-
the football game.
No. So it's not in use anymore, unfortunately. Right. I could just want to comment also down there where you see the car disappearing. That is where this area connects to the road system. So this is where you come when you come by car. You enter there behind that White House. The White House is also planned for demolishing. There are plans for building private housing. There is a real estate developer have bought that property and has drawn up plans for it, but will wait for the general development of this Frösta area, and is also a very keen participant in the planning of the general Frösta area. So it can be contacted also for development purposes.
a small comment. If you want to change the access point of the road to this area, you still need to maintain access to those living houses over there. So as long as you maintain the function of that access, it's possible to rearrange the access point.
Because
For
currently
this area.
it's like a U-turn, or you enter and exit at the same point from the
No, it's a T section.
T-text. Yeah.
Yes. So you enter and leave at the same point, yes.
Yeah.
And you turn here. Yes. So there's no through passage through Frøystad. Yes.
Can we demolish the old school, or there are plans to remain and operate as it is?
Well, the adult education we are behind the library. That's staying for now, but we've spent quite an amount of money to refurnish it. So, but long term, maybe something else. So I think we have to have stages, and in long term, you have a lot more opportunity to change things. But in short term and medium term, I think that building stays. But on a 15-year, 20-year scale, I think maybe we can see beyond that.
Also, page 5 in the competition brief really details what buildings are planned to be demolished and which buildings are
There's one more question from the group. Yes.
are flexible.
How this area would look like when the demolish the buildings. Will it just be evened out as a slope, or leave the foundations?
So just did you register that question in the stream, in the feed?
No.
Okay. So the question is, when we demolish these buildings, what will it look like after? How will we leave it?
So we were pointing at the parking lot first, and that's staying for now. But there's a cellar. So when you remove it, if you remove the entire building, there's a lot of concrete, and you get a big hole. So we're going to remove the iron and fill it, and we're going to cover it with soil and plant grass. So this will be a grass area after the demolition. And we're trying to avoid that hole and make the connection with to the square we're going to next. Yeah, so there are some funds set aside for that process. So we're not going to have a demolition site for the future. We're going to have a grass.
Yeah. And the slope at the back, will it be kind of sloped out?
Yeah.
Yes.
We're also tearing down another house on the other side, which we can point out later.
Okay, so we are now standing in the middle of this courtyard. This is the old schoolyard for the high school that was in these buildings. This is the youth club that we were talking about over there that is still in operation. This is the education for grown-ups and the library. So these buildings behind that you will now see in they will be demolished. All right, so I think we move on.
Library, is it frequently used? And what was the planning process? Was it an old building? Was the library at the same place? And
yeah, so there was a question about the library, if it's frequently in use, if it's a new building, where was it before? Right. So the library is quite popular. It's in good use. It's a new building. There was an old building standing there that was completely rotten, so that was taken down, and this was put up. It's the first floor is the library, and the second floor is the education for grown-ups.
the old library at the same spot?
No, the old library was in this building here on the other side and on the ground floor, one floor down. So this is terraced terrain, so there's like a one level below where we stand now. You will see that as we go around this building. I can point to the old library. But this is a huge improvement from the old library in many ways.
You can see where the old building connected by the shape there. So it was possible to drive underneath, but there was a building with basement which connected that building to that building.
So they're just going to take a photograph. Yeah. And now we're done.
I guess.
So it's a
Look at the
question.
floor. This building is the first floor is quite high raised.
Is it plans to do? I didn't notice that the facade on the other side is still the old facade.
Yeah.
Is it plans to do the building all the way around or just front?
Right, so that's the question if it's a plan to continue this kind of facade also on the other side of the building, which still has the old panel.
But no.
No, don't know. Maybe. This is probably the most weathered side because a lot of the weather comes from the east.
But it's new. So I don't know if they haven't painted yet or if the materials are made so they can be outside.
Right.
So I would have to ask.
I muted again as we walk.
So I got a question about this square and if the buildings here were planned demolished before we built the library. And I think I heard them.
Ja, jeg har på unmute.
So I got a question here about the buildings, or if they were decided to be demolished before we built the library, and no, they weren't.
Yeah, sorry.
But still, there's an idea that this becomes a square of some sort available to the public. But that's for you to come with suggestions, I think.
Story behind all this bird nest. You see trash bins, and on the roof here we have another bird nest. They're
Bird nest shape.
bird nest shapes. You can see them in the entire municipality. There's like paper bins and
Okay, so while I was muted, there was a question about these
and the top.
the top here on this little roof, and the garbage bins that are shaped like bird nests. The short answer is, I think, no, we don't know. They are from a long time ago. Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
Right, so I'm gonna have to make a change in the microphone arrangement, so maybe because I have to charge the phone, it's about to run out of battery. But so that means that we will change the sound setup, but we will still, it should work. Okay, so now we are at the outside the youth club, which is in this building. In the first floor here, on the ground floor, is what do you call it? Like a rental equipment room that you can come and borrow sports and leisure equipment, like camping equipment, bikes, skis, skates. All sorts of stuff that you can borrow for a week for free. So anyone living in this municipality can use that. It's quite popular. And the youth club is on the first floor up here. Here is an old set of stairs, sort of like a, what do you call it? Like a amphitheater. So this field here could be used for some sort of activity. We lack, as you can see, outdoor activities for the youth club. So that will be very nice. And these buildings are then to be demolished. So you can see down here is the center of the Roa behind the trees. There's a walking bridge over to the residential area in the background, and also that leads to a pedestrian road down to the high school. There's a question from the group.
So how was the stairs used originally when it was a school? Was it like a field or something here, or what did you do? Like, were you watching something, or what's the history? Do you know?
When I went to school here,
Yeah.
it was used for smoking
Okay.
illegally.
Mm.
The pupils smoked, hid behind here, and so it have never really had a use as I can remember it.
Okay.
It was probably there was some idea behind it, but it didn't really. As the schoolyard was over there up on the top, that was where we were, and we were not allowed to be in this area.
Okay, so this was not part of the old schoolyard.
No, not really.
Not really. Okay. But
If you
the
were
youth
here,
center was operating.
this building was originally a college
Trade school.
trade school. Yes, for grades above high school.
Okay.
It's a commercial school.
Okay.
Yes.
See. And that was the old library, that building, or no?
Yes, it was at the end of this building here.
Okay.
The library was at the end of this building that you can see down here.
And was it the school library or was it the municipality library?
The municipality library. And also, of course, the school library. Yes.
Okay.
Ni heter Killabbegrader.
Ja. Nå er jeg på lyd her. Yes, so this was the old library in to the right of the door here. Both floors, 2 floors. The municipality also bought this property behind here, the blue house. It was an old residential house, and we bought it to be removed and to be part of the Frøystad area. So that is also included in the project area. All right, so I hope you can still hear me, even though we have disconnected the microphone setup. But this is an intersection called the Kildahl intersection, and it's named from this building. It used to be a grocery store in the first floor, and the people running that lived upstairs. It is in our plan for cultural
Heritage.
heritage. and is owned by a local estate developer who has refurbished it and made apartments in the second floor, and he has plans to, or he has wishes to reestablish some sort of service in the first floor for like a coffee shop or bakery or something like that. The people that live there used to make very, very good bakery stuff. So he wants to reestablish that. That's his dream. As you can see, this is also quite a busy road. This used to be the main road going north-south between Oslo and Gjøvik. So this is used to be a huge road. There's a car workshop behind here, and then there's an old grocery store also behind there, where there now is a plumber. Right. Questions? There are 2 questions from the group. Yes.
This road, is it now a municipal road or a regional road? And how free are you to like crossings and speed limits and?
Right. So this is a regional road right now.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know how much we can plan on that, but suggestions can always be made, I think.
But it's useful to know that there are all the pipes here, plumbing, and they have to be replaced. So at some point we have to dig up this road.
Okay.
That said, we haven't got any plans which have been talked to the municipality about, or the original municipality, but I think it's this area here is quite key for Frøystad. This connects to Roalina, which is the only functioning commercial area in if this has any commercial area at all. It connects everything. So when we say that we have to keep a connection to the north here, this is one of the points. And that's why we do about that building. But we know that we need to have a good front to this intersection. And for pedestrians, this is kind of a nexus on the walk.
Yeah. How does it work today? Is there anything you would change if you could, or?
That's cars.
No, but yes, there's a question if we would change something, and this is of course a part of where the sidewalk that we talked about earlier up to the station, because the road up to the station is this going to the right here behind the white building. This leads up to the station, and that's where the sidewalk that is being planned is starting here.
Yeah.
At this intersection, but it's on the right side of the road. Now,
Yes.
there's a question.
So in the previous proposal for the site that were included in the competition brief,
Right.
the site of Roa Bilverkstad was also included. What would you say is that it's not included now in the site that is outlined for the competition? What is the status of that site, you would say?
So the status of the site is that the owners. The owner is also the owner of the car workshop, and as long as he runs his car workshop, he's keeping it like that.
Okay.
And also the plumber owns that the property, the white property, and so we are in dialogue with those, and I have told them about Europan, and I think that what they see is that they could maybe build housings here. Like apartments, maybe, but they are awaiting further development, so to get better real estate price and stuff like that. So, but they are, I think they know that these are old buildings that are being used for other purposes now than what they're meant for, and it works for that, and it's cheap, but it's not ideal for the future. So I don't think they have like a very long-term future plan for them as they are. They would like to develop this area.
But our hope for Europan is that that will add a value to this area if we can kind of gather around one idea for this place, and that includes those properties. So they're in the area of interest, and I think we could probably see better uses for that area. And you also have the Vigga River right behind there, so it should be a good place. But it's we need to solve this area because Frøystad has been a difficult knot for us for a long time.
Another question?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. So is there a local bus going from the bus station to the train station? Is it connected by public transport or not today? Not today.
Yes.
Can you say a few words about the blue building and that one?
Yes.
Is it in the commune's property?
Yes. It's in the municipality. The blue one is the municipality property. We purchased that a couple of years ago for the purpose of demolishing it for the purpose of this. So that is included in the project area. The white building behind it is privately owned and is a residence, and it is not part of the plan. Right? Should we move across the road here? We can also say short. This brown building here is a care home, I guess you would call it. It's
That is not.
it's not.
It's a apartment for elderly.
Yeah, apartments for
But
elderly and
they-
disabled.
They rent them, so it's private apartments.
Yeah, they're private apartments.
But it's owned by or run by the municipality. And the home services have their base there.
Yes, run by the municipality. Home services have their base in this building.
I also have a question.
There's a
Will
question.
the area be mainly supported by private investors, or how is like the
Yes.
or will the municipality be involved in kind of that aspect as well?
Right. So
How do you see that?
the question is, will this area be developed by private or by the municipality, or how do we picture that? We are very open to private investors. We want them to help us develop it. It will be a joint project, I think.
The earlier proposals have been exclusively the municipality. And this time we recognize that if there's going to be anything here, we need cooperation with private parties. If that's housing, commercial interests, whatever, this is regular planned as an urban area, so we can do anything we want here. But it's vital that the idea includes private parties.
Because the feasibility study by Asplan,
Yeah.
which was in the brief,
Yeah.
that was mainly,
Municipality.
yeah, okay.
Are there local investors as well, or will you be looking like outside of the municipality?
So we are open to any sort of investors. If they are local, that is fine. We don't have many big local investors with the huge funds. So we have asked, we had a survey a few years ago, and then we asked all big developers in this part of the country. Back then, the interest was not sufficient because the housing pricing here was not good enough. So with a good plan, maybe we can try again and see if we can get someone to develop this with us. But I think that we need an attractive plan to entice developers to join us. Yes.
To run to trade.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, we need
Okay.
a cable that you have.
Yes, I think that'll be okay. Okay, so we can walk with
We
you.
need a cable.
Okay, yes,
Yeah.
you will get it.
Yeah, good.
So
We need to run.
let's run.
We have the cable before.
Okay.
It's okay.
So then you get.
Also,
All right.
so thank you.
Okay.
Someone are leading for the train. They're running this way. We are following them. Yes. Okay, so this is Vigga, which is a river / creek running through Roa. It is right here. It's not at its very most attractive, but further up the river, there has been developed like a walking path through the woods that is quite nice. So it's an element that we want also to activate more and to make it more attractive and more of a part of the center of Roa. Right, so here you can see there is quite a lot of businesses. These are car workshops, and there's a fast food store in the building in the center of the picture right now. And then there are old commercial buildings that are still in use, but not for like public commerce. It's offices and stuff like that. Oh, we will not walk in here now, but this is at the end of this road is the recycling plant. So you can come here and deliver your garbage, and then to the right there is a business that also recycles some of the things that are handed in, and like a second-hand shop and a cafe. But this area also is a part of the project, not the project, but like the larger plan for the area, because this is planned to be relocated to another place in the municipality, and that we want to develop this for residential area.
So the recycling plant or recycling center is supposed to be relocated.
Yes.
You know where or
yes, we have bought another site for it, so that is some kilometers to the south. It's a place that attracts a lot of traffic, and that's a good thing, but it's also it creates a lot of heavy traffic, which is not so good, and it's not very attractive as a development item for people.
It's privately.
No, it's owned by the municipality.
Did you hear the question?
Lasting adapted labor. So it's for people who are outside the labor market and need special.
It's adapted working places.
And it's assisted living facility? Is it reached its capacity? And what is kind of the status? Are a lot of people waiting or like applying to live in assisted living facilities in the municipality?
Yes. So there's a question about the capacity in these residents. It's
not full.
It's not full.
But we're trying to recruit the right people. The urban development for elderly people is very important in Norway and in Lunde as well. Lunde has to build something close to 900 apartments for elderly the next 15, 20 years to match the people already living here. Because they live in big houses, and when you grow old, you can't take care of that house anymore. And also, it's not well adapted to being old and receiving services from the municipality. So we need more projects for living areas for elderly, and that's what we're planning in that area as well, which is close to the base for the home services, and if we can have pharmacies and shops and a doctor's center, I think we can build a good community here, also to grow old in.
Right. So let's move on. It's 5 minutes left of the allotted time. So let's move up and then towards the high school center again.
Yes, maybe while you guys are walking, I can say to the others that are online that if you have any more questions, you're encouraged to ask them now, because there's 5-6 more minutes left. Otherwise, you can also ask questions in the Europan portal.
Ja.
Can I take it in English?
Is there a lot of requests for commercial properties, or is it kind of dead?
I think kind of dead is the right description, and it's sort of linked, because when things are not attractive, you don't attract businesses either. So we need to make a more attractive place here, because the people are here. There are people here. It's just that you're not tapping into it.
Yeah, we have a question from the chat. There is a building that is meant for taxis on the west of the site. Could you show us the area or tell us something about it?
Yeah, I don't think we're walking back there because we don't have time now. But that's a commercial building with apartments in the top floor. So it's 2 stories high, I think. Well, it's not a part of the development area, and the building is too new to think of removing it. And also the next building, the white one, which is called Botania now, there is someone planning a larger building. So I think we're going to have to live with that taxi central building.
And is there a lot of foot traffic to and from the train station today?
yes and no. There's no options other than walking up this path here. And this is where we're getting a sidewalk from the bridge by the river and all the way up to the train station. So we're hoping that that will be finished by next year. But there are some difficulties in planning it and getting space for sidewalk. But the question was, are there a lot of people walking? And there's quite a lot of elevation. So you have to walk 50 meters in vertical axis. So that discourages some people, I think. But if you get a sidewalk, it will be better.
Much better. Yes. So the railway station is in the background where I'm now pointing the camera up the hill. But the sidewalk is planned right where we stand now, up here on the right-hand side of this road that leads to the station. Right. We're going to move now up this road and into the right and walk towards the high school again. Right. So this is now you can see the first area in the background and the walkway that comes across this bridge and up into this residential area that is Roa. We're now in the middle of the Roa residential area, which has, as you can see, like villas and single housing. And there are a few new projects with more dense housing, and we have in our plan we have made this ready for more densely populated housing. This is the most pedestrian-friendly connection to the area that we started our trip in, down by the high school, as you will see as we progress down this road. Okay, so we make a short stop here. Frøstad is behind the bushes here. Not so easy to see maybe in the broadcast, but there it is. So we just passed a kindergarten, and just behind us here on the road, behind where this hedge stops, there's actually a plan to make like a pathway that you can that completes this pathway that I talked about earlier along the river. The river runs down in behind us here now. We can see it, but it's just between the road and us. And so we want to make this connection from the high school and where we are now, and then through this area without having to walk the path that the road that we just walked. So there's a path crossing between the houses here and southward.
A pedestrian shortcut.
Pedestrian shortcut. Yes, it's very. There's a question if we could walk along the river, but right here it's very, very steep, so we can't make it right here. We would ideally want to make it here, so you could walk along the river. But you want to connect to the river as soon as possible, of course. Yes. But where we were on the bridge over there, you could see that it was quite difficult to sort of stay connected to the river all the way, but we tried to sort of come back to it. Yes, so that's the key part of the development of Roa, like just this path. And also, if we can make Frøstad like a part of that path, and maybe make this path go up through and around Frøstad, and make it an attractive part of a walk around Roa, that would be a good thing. So as we now come down the hill, we are approaching the high school again. Okay, so as we now are outside the high school again, we have made a full circle. Town hall is in the background over there. The high school, and this area behind us, which also has a little creek coming through and connecting to the main Vigga Creek down here. So there's also a small football court and a model of an old workshop that was situated a little bit up the river. All right, so I think that concludes our walk around Roa and Frøstad. Are there any final questions?
If there are any questions in the chat, please send them now. 5 minutes. Yes. Yeah, then I can say at least thank you to Torstein, Eivind and Tina from Lunder. It was very nice to look around, and thank you everybody for everybody that came both physically and digitally. I see also now that there has come a question from Joanna. If you're able to answer this.
The question is the path to the recreation area up along the river? Sorry. Is the path to the recreation area up along the river?
Which recreation area?
Right, the path that I was talking about. It connects to the river again a little bit further up, but right where we were standing, it's very steep down to the river, so it's not possible to connect right there, but just a couple of 100 meters up, it does connect to the river again. And then it runs along the river for like a kilometer or so. Right? Okay, thank you very much for joining us today, and good luck with all your the work that you're now going to do. We're very excited to see good ideas to solve some of the obvious problems that we have with this area. Right.
Thank you very much, everybody. And then, of course, you can send in more questions into the Europan portal as well. Yes. Goodbye, everybody.